Sure, Pikul. We are excited to have you on board. Let's get started with you giving a quick rundown of who you are to our audience.
As you already know my name, I'm Pikul and I live in Uttamnagar, New Delhi. But I have a origin of Odisha.
Okay.
My family, my parents belong to Odisha. And I'm a devotee of Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj since April 2013.
Okay. Okay, so you are a follower of Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj, but otherwise, are you a student? Or?
Yeah, yes, I am a student also. I'm a first year MBBS student
Okay, so you are a
from,
medical science
from
student.
Sabdajang.
Okay, how did you get in touch with Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj?
It's all because of my family. As when I was young, almost 9 or 10.
Okay,
so
that young.
Yeah, I was very young. I didn't know about spirituality at that time. So my father got this book authored by Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj from a fellow, I guess, a Bhakt, and he got this book and started reading it. And he started listening Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj discourses, and he also convinced all of us to sit and listen to it. And there was a time when we all had this particular time that we will sit together and watch the discourses. So over the time we got this knowledge, and over the time we heard it, and over the time we literally was amazed and astonished by this knowledge that was very new, like very new. We'd never heard about who spiritual saint is. We never knew the concept of saint. Actually, we only believed in gods, and we only.
But you were very young at that age, right?
I was young, but yeah, I was young, but even as a young person, as a young child, I knew what my parents were following. My parents were doing idol worship, and when we watched satsang, my father will discuss it between us, like among us. He will say that what did he say, he will discuss everything. And then as a 9-year kid, my mind was boggled. My mind was boggling that how can this be like this seriously. So after that we decided we'll visit the ashram, and we didn't thought about taking any naam diksha or something.
Okay, you just visited.
We just thought we will visit, but after visiting there, we were literally, I felt like we were cleansed there. When we went there, my whole family felt like we were cleansed. And then almost that day only, we took the Naam Diksha, and we got in the sharan of Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj.
And now being a medical student at this age, and you still think there's some spiritual power that overcomes medical sciences?
The thing is, at that time I was very young. I just followed my parents. But over the time when I grew up, I started researching. Because if what I'm following, is it correct or not? Since I just followed my parents. It was not my belief. It was just what I was following as a kid.
Correct.
So when I grew up, I started researching. I researched what is written in holy books, that what he's showing actually is written or something fake.
So you are a spiritual researcher as well.
I would say that. So I researched, and I found various astrologers that have commented on Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj. One of them would be Nostradamus. He has said that one Sharan would be born in India and would make this a very strong religious country, India, all over the world. So when I matched it with Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj, it's almost coincides with everything.
But there are several other spiritual leaders across the globe, and there are Indian origin spiritual leaders as well. For example, Jagdish Vasudev, he's like a very famous spiritual leader who is known as Sadguru across the globe. So how did you identify that you had to follow this path and not?
The thing is, when researching, I would have research with other gurus also. But when I matched the teachings, like what has they taught, I found Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj teaching the best. Like he told what we have written in holy books, what we have to follow, what we have. Nobody has given proofs.
Correct.
Like Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj. His discourses are all on the proofs that has been written in holy books. Like most of the time, his face isn't even shown in just the books, because he is always telling what is written in the books and what. And when we try to match it with the books, our holy books, it could be Quran, Bible, and all the Vedas.
Okay, so all the religions you are saying.
Religions. So it's everywhere. It's the same. The God is in form. We should not follow the scriptures, the idol worships. So everything is same over there, but written in different fonts, like you would say different types. Okay? There, the Quran, it was mentioned Kabiran.
Okay.
So
So you're
Bible,
saying that
yeah,
God's name is already
in the Quran.
okay.
You could check the Qurans. So we will find many proofs that it has been given over the Qurans and over the holy books.
Okay. So, and this actually gets a lot of questions in my mind, follow-up questions maybe. So, you are a medical student,
Yes.
and you must have been a lot into books, a
Yeah.
lot into
Yeah.
studying, researching, and you
Yeah.
are a spiritual researcher as
Yeah.
well. So, when you got into this research and you got to know a lot of facts,
Yes.
did something not feel like a disconnect between your beliefs and the globe's belief? Because, and why I'm saying so is because most of the population across the globe says, one, God is formless.
Yes.
A lot of people believe in Jesus as
Yes.
God.
Definitely.
A lot of people say Allah is God
Yes.
and Jannat is the final destination.
Yes.
And what you are saying is all completely different from what I just said. So, how did you decide on what was right?
Everything comes back on our holy books. Like as I said before, maybe everyone has said something. Someone has said Allah is God. Someone has said Jesus is God. Someone has said our Hindu gods are God. So, but the proofs are written in our holy books only. I do not believe in a person saying it. I only believe in what is written in our Purans. I strongly believe,
Which is right.
which
Like
is right.
you should
Yeah,
believe what's
which is
there in the
definitely.
books.
And obviously there was a disconnect because I saw people around myself following this religion and following that religion and following this that. So when I saw, I thought maybe we should have followed this. We should not have been in this. Why we were in this in the first place. So over this time, I also researched about that too.
Okay.
Ki what is like Hinduism? Is it correct to do this festivities, and is this correct to do this puja and all? But after all of this, holy books hasn't mentioned anywhere to do this idol worship. So why should I? The main question was this: why should I do the idol worship when it isn't mentioned anywhere? So it came back to this, that Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj is only the true saint.
Okay. And what was your kind of a remarkable experience, or maybe the greatest benefit that you got after you started following this path, and what kept you motivated going into this?
The thing is, I had lot of miraculous experiences, like
Okay.
with my sister and with my father, with my mother. But
And you call them miracles.
yeah, I would strongly call them miracles,
Okay.
because miracles are something that cannot be defined by science, that are truly because
Agreed.
of God. So it's with my mother. My mother had this brain surgery because she
Okay.
had blood clotting in brain.
Okay.
So she had this aneurysm surgery for 8 hours long, and the survival rate was literally nil. The
Okay.
doctor, the doctor already said on our face that she might not survive. So
Okay.
we were really tense, but we still had the strong belief on our saint, on our Guruji, that we will find peace, and we will definitely overcome this
back.
trauma. So she was in this surgery, and doctors were all set on saying that you should be prepared. So
Okay.
we were waiting 8 hours, and after those 8 hours, she was fine. She was miraculously
Okay.
fine, and it was a surgery. Doctor said that okay, she is fine, but still you have to be cautious. You have to be very, very cautious with her, because it's a brain surgery. You have to. She has to stay on bed like for a year or so.
Okay.
But she's a teacher. Our financial condition depends on her. We were kids, my sister and I. My father had a shop, which is not a very big financial source. So all the financial source was dependent on her, and she needed a rest bed
For a year.
For a year. So after a month, we handled the tuitions, we handled the coachings. But after a month, miraculously, she sat on the chair, she started teaching.
Okay.
And she started teaching, and it was like she never had a surgery. So
Okay.
it's a miracle. I can't say anything about it. And my belief got stronger.
Correct.
Yeah.
And you talking about all this, and at the back of my mind, just one thing is going on is you are a medical student, but you
Yes.
still talk so firmly about God. So I'm sure it must have been a like pleasant experience. But
Yeah, it's the before a medical student, I became the devotee. So nevertheless, I would say that it was a miracle. It was something given to us by the God, and that God is none other than Kabir, and that is what our saint, our Guruji tells us. So the only thing that was going through my mind at that time was, what will happen? What if she does not survive? What I was like, I had this belief that will Guruji give her the life that doctors are saying she won't survive. So at that time, my belief got a little weaker because
Okay.
I was a kid. I was like, why the doctors are saying so? Because I had a strong belief in doctors too. So I was like, why the doctors are saying so? If she'll survive, what will happen? But
Stressful.
after that my belief got stronger, and I was like, no, I shouldn't doubt at the first place. So I can't relate it with the medical science. I can't say that I won't say medical sciences are lower or something. I
Correct.
won't say. Each has a particular
Its own
place.
importance.
Yeah,
Correct.
a particular place, a particular importance in life. But being spiritually knowledged, being spiritually educated is as important as our basic knowledge, I would say. So
But
I
do
don't.
you agree God is finally above medical sciences?
I
There's
want
no
that. I want
comparison.
debate. There's no comparison. There shouldn't be a debate over this, because God has every time. He is the one who rules. He is the one who is above all of us. I don't think there should be a debate on this topic.
Okay, okay. So one question that I get here is a lot of people across the globe are moving towards atheism, and people
Yes.
have stopped believing the existence of God. People say there's nothing called as God, and it's all the Big Bang theory.
Yes, yes.
It's just a coincidence that we all got created. So, what are your thoughts about this?
The thing is, when a person cannot find God, he starts to believe that there's no God.
They start claiming there's no God.
There's no God. When they couldn't find it, they don't look through it that thoroughly. When they don't look at, they will just believe that there's no God to make them satisfied only. But I think if you say there's no God, how this universe is created? Like, there are a lot of theories, Big Bang theories and that, but there's no proof.
Correct.
When we have proofs that, like, there's this thing that I studied, like, we have this chapters in our reproduction chapters in science. People read it, like students read it, reproduction. There's like this, how the sperm, ova and everything connects together. And but this is all written before in the Qurans, in the Vedas. Everything is written. I've read it, that the sperm will come, this ova will come, but we read it in books that this is discovered by this person. But how?
The science.
How the holy books are already written so long back. So
Correct.
this doesn't define it. Like, everything is already written, we just need to go through it. We just need to read it, so that we can be spiritually educated, as well as we can define the God. We can say that there is a God. We shouldn't believe in atheism, I don't think.
Atheism is
It's not a concept. It's not a correct concept, I would say.
correct.
Because God is there.
God is there.
God is there. God is in a form of man.
And now you're saying God is in form.
Yeah, God is in
While
form.
and I'm not sure, but I've heard people talking about God being formless, especially people say that it's there in Holy Bible or Holy Quran. God is not in form, is what I've heard.
Yes.
So would you like to elaborate?
There is definitely a proof. You could read it. It's clearly mentioned that God is in the shape of man.
Okay.
God is like a man. So how can he be man if he is formless? Man has a form. So that means God has a form. So there's no.
And this is proven, you're saying.
This is proven in all the books, in the holy books.
Holy Quran, Holy Bible,
Bibles and Vedas also. Gitas.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And okay, next question maybe one. It's actually a question related to what you're studying and what you would have seen around you. And why I'm asking this is because you are a medical science student,
Yes.
and you must be undergoing stress at times. And students at your age, what I have seen generally, are getting involved in different kinds of intoxication, and consuming non-vegetarian food is, of course, very common these days.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on this, and how do you take on this?
Consuming intoxications or meats or non-veg, I don't think is a correct way, because if you're eating non-veg, you're sacrificing another organism for your own appetite. I don't think that's a correct way. If just imagine a situation where your kid is getting sacrificed for others' appetite, that that's
Painful.
yes, very painful for a fellow mother or anything. So I don't think an organism should be sacrificed for another organism. There's always enough food. So I don't think eating meat, eating non-veg is the correct way. And the thing about intoxications, I know a lot of students nowadays are taking intoxications because of stress and all that. Even in my
It's an
college,
escape from. Okay.
even in my college, there are students who are taking a lot of different type of intoxications, and they're getting it from like cheaper
Correct.
prices. But this is the thing is, they are coping it. They are trying to cope up with all the stress. That is wrong. They're
It's
trying
their
to
way of escaping
their
out
way
of the
of
stress.
escaping, but I don't think they're escaping, because they will get addicted all because of this, and they try to get more intoxicated, get more intoxication. So it's a loop, you could say.
It's a vicious loop.
Right, it's a vicious loop where you are taking intoxication to get rid of the stress, and then you are you're having stress of the intoxications, like you are getting stressed that you haven't taken that intoxication. It is a loop. You want get out of this loop. So for you to get out of this loop, you have to stop intoxications, I would say.
Okay. Okay. How did Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj's teachings help you connect with your, inner self and find that mental peace amongst all of this chaos?
As I said before, my parents connected me, and I was a kid at that time. So at that time, I did not had a thought about it. So there was a time when I, w- I was just reading this Gyan Ganga book, and there was written that people would go to heaven or hell if they are doing normal, and they will accordingly their pap and punya, their what have they done in their life karmas. So according to that, they will get their heaven or hell. So I was thinking about the death and all that at that kid when I was a kid. So when I was thinking all that, I was crying that my mother will die. I was literally crying at a corner and thinking, oh, my mother will die, my mother will. Because as a kid, I did not want that my parents to die. So after that, I know this memory, and this memory was because I wanted to share that after growing up, I accepted that fact that everybody has to die, that nobody is immortal. So everybody has a particular life that they have to live, and then they have to die. So after that, I knew that if we are going to die, why not die, like why not live this life spiritually? Why not live this life as a spiritual person? Why don't we dedicate this life to the spiritual knowledge that has been circulated by Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj? As we know, after death, we do not know what happens.
Correct.
But as we can almost nullify all our anything that we have done bad to somebody or something, so we can improve our karmas and all that. So I think being spiritually connected is the most important.
And do you have any thoughts or any, special message to convey to people who are not uh, who are not following this ideology and who are still so busy or engaged or ignorant towards something called as spirituality, and then they are still just doing their life and
the thing is, I would only want to convey that people are scrolling through reels, watching YouTubes and all that, but after that they do not know what to do with life. Like, they are financially good, but are they good spiritually? So I'll say that instead of scrolling reels, instead of watching YouTubes, you can watch the discourses given by Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj. At least try to indulge in it. Try to watch it at least once.
spend a little bit of time.
Spend a little bit of time, so that you get the get the hint of that what is he saying, like what is it that he is conveying, what is it that connects us with the spirituality, and what is it that makes us the main being, like why are we born, what is our purpose. The purpose, there should be a purpose why a man is born. not just because of he has to work and earn and work and earn. There should be a purpose to life. I think the purpose to life is a God. So I think anybody else that is out there scrolling through reels and all that, I think you should indulge in discourses given by Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj. Give them a time so that you can get the hint of it and try to be more spiritual and don't waste this precious life on various unnecessary things.
Yeah, that's really good to know. One final question, maybe. Any last message that you would like to convey to your generation, and how can people get connected with Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj Ji?
So the thing is, do not waste your precious life over the way unnecessary things that you are doing. So to do that, you should watch the Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj discourses and read the books given by him. And to do that, you can connect with them. There are a lot of channels that features Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj. There are various channels. There's strips runs below. There all the contacts are given, and you can just call them and get connected with them. And nowadays there are a lot of social platforms which features Sant Rampal Ji Maharaj, like YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. And I guess you will use one of them either way. So I think you can connect wherever you want. And if you want a free book, we provide free books also over the globe, and we can just, you can leave a message of any social media platform with your address
on any of the official channels, you are saying,
on any on any channels, on any Facebook platforms, any social media network, and we will deliver it to you over your house only, free of cost.
Okay.
Because we want our knowledge to spread across. We don't want anyone to be deprived of spirituality just because of the cost.
And you think this is the knowledge that should reach everywhere?
I absolutely do, because I know this is the correct path. When I know this is the correct path, I want others to know as well. So I think this is the perfect way to connect with each other. I think the books are most helpful, and when people who do not know how to read, so they can watch the discourses in Hindi as well as in English. There are English channels also, there are Hindi channels also. So it's like very, very
widely spread,
very,
in all languages.
In all languages.
Okay.
And it's still spreading.
It's still spreading.
It's still spreading, and it will spread.
But seems like you are growing too fast in this, and I'm really glad to hear your spiritual journey. I mean, thank you so much for your time today, Pikul, and it was really great knowing about you and your spiritual journey.
No, it was really great meeting you as well. Thank you so much.